This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
So I snapped it one day going about 120 mile an hour. That's what I do when I drive down there.
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
There's a phrase on top that says, do what you love. I'm going to put that one in my office.
It is the 28th of June, 2022. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marnie Winfield.
And welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast. I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever gone 120 mile an hour.
That's probably a good thing.
It's dangerous. I think that's speeding. What would they call that? Like
Reckless driving?
reckless driving. That's exactly what they would call it. Whew. See, we should do trivia. Addiction Treatment Services, they're having trivia, like the Porch.
Yeah.
It's their like community program
Yeah, that'd be fun.
here in Traverse City. I know, but we're going to be away.
I know. We're going to be at my sister's wedding.
It's on the 8th of July. Oh, man, I get to say Jewlye again for a whole month.
Oh, please. No, don't.
Thank you, Arkansas. When I was down there living in Arkansas, they say, oh, tar. If your name's Mike, it's really Mac.
Mm-hmm.
If your name's Tom, it could mean, what time is it?
No, I get
I don't know what time it is. Crazy. And Jewlye. I'm sure I told you the story about it. I can tell it again. About how to do a commercial. I was like, come on to the 4th of July sale. And his name was Mark Sparks. And he was like a mobile DJ. He had like this unit set up in like this ambulance. And they called it the Jambulance. And he would like show up at events and like just play music.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Where is he now?
Probably down there just doing the Jambulance. But he comes to me and I had this, like spot. I was like, come to the 4th of July sale. And he's like, hey, I'm going to need you to read that again. And I hated, like, you get the commercial done, put the finishing touches on it. I mean, it was good to go. And then they come back. I'm like, hey, I wrote the phone number wrong in there. Can you change that? Like, you MFers. Revisions were the worst. I hated them. And the dude comes in and he's like, yeah, can you say it like Jewlye? You're saying it wrong. And I was like, what? You want me to say Jewlye? Yeah, Jewlye. Like a Jew lies. No, July, like the month. July? Yeah. You're saying it's not how you say it. Oh, where the F am I at? Meanwhile, I was like, hey, God. And that's all I heard.
So did you redo it?
Yeah.
That's fine. Did it hurt you that you had to redo it? Really?
It hurt it hurt my intelligence. It hurt everything about me. I was taught to never dumb it down.
It's not. That's their accent. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm surprised I never had to do an oil. Can we get your 1999 oil change?
People say we sound funny in Michigan.
Well, some people do.
I know, but I mean, some people like...
So especially the more north you get, the more crazy it gets.
Oh, I told the story before. I was waiting tables in San Antonio at an Olive Garden, from all places, right? One of the most generic restaurants you can waitress at.
Muy bien.
And I had a table, and I introduced myself like I always did. And this lady is like staring at me like something's wrong with me. Puto. And then she's like, I have to ask you this. She's like, where are you from? And I was like, and before I could answer, she's like, are you from Michigan? And I was like, what? This is creepy. Thinking to myself, like, I'm not wearing anything Michigan. I'm wearing an Olive Garden uniform, so that's not it. She's like, I had a college roommate, and she was from Michigan, and you sound exactly like her.
You're like, educated? Oh, thanks.
No,
thanks.
I'm saying apparently we have a very unique, I mean, she didn't say Illinois.
Usually they call
Wisconsin,
it Illinois.
Or Washington, D.C.
You from Illinois?
She was very much sure that I was from Michigan, so it was pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it's crazy how this country is all over the map sometimes with the lingo and the accents, and it is kind of fun, really. And I just kind of poke fun a little bit because coming from the north and getting a new education. When I moved to Texas, it was kind of the same, but I didn't expect so many Spanish speaking, like, I don't know. I just it's like cowboys and stuff, it really wasn't. was an eye opener for me.
There you go. It's an experience.
A little sheltered boy from Coloma, Michigan.
And it enriched your life, right?
It did.
So there you go.
The area I grew up in was crazy. I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but I will again if in case I didn't. It was crazy because Benton Harbor was kind of in the center of all the other cities almost. And that's where a lot of people used to live. And if you're familiar with what they call the white flight, is when white people started moving out of the inner cities like Detroit, maybe Flint, I'm not sure. But Benton Harbor was one of them. And when the white people moved out, they took everything with them pretty much. They took the work, the stores, the pharmacies, I mean, everything pretty much, and just walked away. Here you go, whatever. And Benton Harbor is 99% African American. And all the cities around it are 99% Caucasian. It's the weirdest thing. And back in, I don't know, I think late 70s, early 80s, Coloma and Benton Harbor touch, like the townships. And it's pretty much farmers out there in Benton Township or whatever in Coloma. And Coloma was picking those students up and bringing them to Coloma. And someone was like, hey, wait a minute, how come you're not, taking the African-American kids from Benton Harbor? And they're like, well, because we're just picking people up on the out. Like, this is across the street from Smith Farm, like this is the Williamson Farm. They might as well grab that kid too, He's went to Coloma his whole life. And they're like, well, but he's in Benton Township. And they raised a big thing. And then they were like, okay, well, what do they call it? Desegregation. So you have to, bust the kids from Benton Harbor into Coloma, which I'm glad they did. It taught me a lot, like not all people are good, and it's not based on the color of your skin. And we would play other schools and sports and stuff, and they would just have racist signs up. And it was like, I don't know. At the time, we just kind of like, whatever, like those stupid rich white kids. Mm-hmm. But looking back at it, it was kind of like, wow, I guess that was happening. And I don't know. It was just when you grow up in those situations and you just, I don't know. You don't really think it's strange because you're living it, And it's just like if we look back at the 40s and 50s, and even back further than that, we think, oh my God, like how would people do that? And when you're just grown up in it and it just seems normal, you don't think it's not normal. Mm-hmm. So anyway, a little history lesson from Corey Winfield. You're welcome. Back to trivia. Yeah, so if any of those questions come up and you're out at the trivia night, I shared the poster on Facebook. So if you're interested and you're around Traverse City, it'd be a lot of fun on the 8th. And there's going to be a volleyball tournament too, I've heard. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be there.
It's on the 16th.
I'm going to do play-by-play.
16th of
Jewlye. Hell yeah. Jewlye.
I'm never doing that again.
See, it sounds weird. We're going to need you to record. Hey, man, you're saying it wrong.
No, it's fine. Here's the thing you're missing. It's fine that they say it that way. It's fine. They can say it that way up here if they want to. Just asking you to say it differently seems odd. Because that's not what your accent's like.
No, well, when you're proficient.
But I mean, look at actors and actresses and stuff. Like they are like, no, we want you to sound Southern.
Yeah, you're playing a role.
So that's what we're hired for, babe. No, that's what you should have done.
Hired to play a role.
If you were supposed to do a commercial, they wanted a Southern accent.
They didn't want a Southern accent. He truly thought I was saying a foreign word to him. Oh. Like the word kaleidoscope. Okay, it's kaleidoscope. No, it's kaleido. I don't know. I'm horrible at examples, but dog. It's not dog. It's dog. I don't know.
Both are right.
Not really, but it was just as a professional radio broadcaster. It was, and the fact that I had to do a revision for that, it was just mind-blowing. Anyway, this dude who's been listening to our podcast, his name is Jonathan, and he's going to have 5 months sober. No, in 5 days, he's going to have 6 months sober? I can tell you in just a second. But he has been listening to the podcast, and I brought him up before, and he's crazy, man. He started listening to our podcast from the start, but like 2 years late. So it was interesting for him because he was in early recovery. Oh, in 5 days, he's going to have 200 days. So that's cool for him.
Mm-hmm.
Big props. But
awesome, man.
Yep. So he started listening though. And from 2019, he said he listens on Podcast Addict. He said he thought that was kind of funny that he listens to Podcast Addict and listens to a recovery show. But he said he's tried listening to other recovery shows, but he just is not a fan. Yeah, he's like something about 217 recovery just he connects with. And he asked, how many episodes are there? Because I asked him, are you still listening, in order? And he said, hell yeah. He's like, how many are there? How many episodes? I was like, about 685 episodes. I was like, how far back are you? And he said he's getting close to the end of 2020.
Okay.
So he's probably listened to our wedding.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, he's catching up. But it's amazing to think back at the stuff that we've been through, and like me even meeting you, and at first talking about you a little bit. But I see, and here's the thing. I couldn't talk about you too much. It had nothing to do about other women, nothing like that. It had to do everything about the boundaries that I was trying to lay down with my mother. And rightfully so. I mean, she had probably reason to go, Corey, don't be getting in relationships. Every time I did, I'd blow it up and go relapse. So I can see her point with, hey, what are you doing, son? But at the same time, I was trying to cut those codependent ties that my mom and I had. And one of those things was she doesn't need to be in my relationships like that. And so I was really like setting a boundary of like, nope. And if I talk about it on the podcast, my mom listens. And I don't need her phone calling or texting me, hey, you don't need to be dating this girl. You don't need to be doing that or doing this or doing that. And she'd always tell me that I would sound like a whore. Her slut. I don't know. Something to that effect of, oh no, maybe she called me a sick old pervert or a sick old man. I don't know. She was always calling me like names like that. And that kind of bothered me anyway. She's like, yeah, you guys, yeah, especially you, Corey, you sound like a sick old man. And that's why I think one time Ryan Beckman was like, oh, okay, I'm the pervert. And then we like took the drop and played it over and over. But so that's why I didn't talk too much. But we did have you on the podcast early. Mm-hmm. You came. I remember you came. But you were at the house.
And they wonder why she goes, you pervert.
What? Because you came to the house? Oh, don't throw that on me. Don't throw that on me. But you didn't show up at the house to do a podcast early on, and I thought that was good. But like just to think back of like him going through that, and then like when we found out we were pregnant, and I was so excited, like to go back and listen to those. I remember talking about on the podcast and talking about moving out from the sober living home that we were managing at the time, and moving with you, and I didn't have a job. I mean, it was crazy. And
So it were like a soap opera.
yeah, we weren't even a 501c3. We weren't a nonprofit yet, and I was working on it. And now we're living in a hotel trying to find a place. COVID's hit, like there's no place to go. You can't even look at apartments. And I mean, it was so crazy. And we kept doing the podcast. That was pretty cool. And that's, I think, when I suckered you into like being the co-host.
Yeah, it was about that.
Sucker.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it for a while. You put it on your resume.
Yeah.
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 You should tell your work. I don't know if you know this, but my resume's been updated. Oh, did you get some more therapy hours? You a therapist now? No. I'm a professional podcaster.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not that.
See, they'll probably take money from you. Yeah, about that, Marty. We're gonna need to go.
No,
ahead.
my work is pleased that this is my hobby, I guess if you want to call it that, or that I'm involved in this. They don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, we mean well.
Absolutely.
And I think it probably hurt. Like, it probably does hurt you because people are like, man, that Corey guy.
No.
Like, I hate him.
If they do, then they keep it to themselves.
That's wise of them. No, I'm going tomorrow, actually. Christina and I are doing the outreach program.
Great. It's great.
Yeah. I want to, if I can get out there early enough. There's a place in town, LJ's. What's L&R?
J&S?
Yes, J&S. They have like a table that other places in the community come and they drop things off. Like some breads, some pies sometimes. And it's like a central point. I can't remember. There's like a program that they call it, but that's one of the places that people go. And like businesses will drop off like pies and stuff. But maybe I can swing by there and grab, if they have something, and take it out with us. Because I think tomorrow we're hitting the homeless shelter first.
You want to know who I think drops off stuff there? Is I think Costco.
Costco, they do, because I
think that's where a lot of the, like, I've seen
stuff from there.
Big stuff of, like, produce, like bags of lettuce, and mostly it's, like, pastries and bread and things like that.
Yeah, might grab some, I'll take some sandwich bags out there with me. For people's sandwiches, I don't know.
No, I think that's like kids' lunches.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about like
the bag lunches.
No, I was talking about making them myself.
Oh, you're gonna make...
slap some peanut butter on. Some
I think
bread.
you should stick with your hot dog idea.
Yeah,
that's probably where you're.
Yeah, we have the grills, but it's good to go out and do those kind of things, and see people and show them that we do care about them, and I don't know. Hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully, because I don't want to make it sound like, well, maybe it'll happen. Because I don't like thinking like that. I like being more positive. So,
you want to know who I saw had something on the side of one of the beta buses? This Skywood Recovery.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, getting recovery out there is, you're seeing more and more of it, I think, in like the regular world.
Well, that's advertising, but.
No, I know, but I mean, 15 years ago, they didn't have billboards for substance use disorder treatment centers on buses.
Yeah. Maybe. But when we get to doing this more and more, the earning the trust of the people, and that they see that, hey, we're not trying to get anything from them. We're just trying to offer them the services that we have. And, and I mean, we don't really have many services ourselves, but we can offer a little hope and inspiration, and just talking to people sometimes really, really helps. And we saw a guy at church the other day, and he's one of the homeless residents, and he just smiled at me real big, because I told him a couple weeks ago, I was like, hey man, I see you at church all the time. I'm gonna come say hi to you, because in our church they have that pause where go shake some hands. And I can never make it over to him, because there's always like two people like on us, like hi, and I'm like hello, and I told him, I was like, man, I'm making it over to you regardless. And then that next week we went to Grand Rapids for my birthday, and I was like, damn, I told him I'd be there and I was gonna see him, so I made sure to run over there and give him a fist bump, like, what's up, man? I told you I'd see you. So we'll see him tomorrow, hopefully, and make him a sandwich or a hot dog or something. I don't know. We'll see what I can come up with. But that Jonathan, though, he's sticking with it, and he told me today in a message that he had sent me that he thinks, it would be easy for him to go out and drink. And there's some legal situations going on with him, and sometimes that's what it takes. That's what it took me. And I told him, no, dude. No, people would know, because you can't stop. Like you can tell yourself, and it'll happen to him for the rest of his life probably, where it'll pop in his head like, I can drink today. Nobody's going to know. And when he gets off whatever legal stuff he's going through, like when he's done with that, there'll be a day when he's driving down the road and it's sunny, or whatever his thing is. It's rainy, or both. It's sunny and rainy. That's when you got to really hunker down and really think it through to where, what happened last time I thought I could just drink on a Friday? Or, hey, I'm finally off probation or whatever it is. Now I get to celebrate. Oh, I got a raise. Look at me. I'm doing so good. And he said that he doesn't want to lose all the clean time, which is good. I don't know if I've ever feared losing the clean time. I've feared like, oh, I have a podcast, like we started a company, and I don't know, maybe I have too much to lose. And people ask me all the time too. They're like, oh, do you stay sober for your wife? No. Well, how does she stay sober? I was like, she just does, and I just do. And I know that we both benefit from each other staying sober, but we don't do it for each other. I do it for me, and then that benefits us as a couple. But yeah, I can't do it for you.
You have to. I mean, it's kind of like it's a weird thing. I think about that as well, because at the end of the day, I do it for myself, right, and for my life. And in my life, what makes me and my life and my happiness right now is a lot of different things. A lot of different things that I'm invested in, and that they or it is invested in me, right? And I mean, it's kind of like a give-take situation, but so if I go back out, I will lose all those things. So it's not about staying sober for you, or staying sober for my job, or staying sober for my mom, or staying sober for my cat, or staying sober and then fill in the blank. It's not for one particular thing, but I know that where drinking and drugging leads me, I will lose all those things. Right? And for the whole like relationship piece, it's not a codependency thing. It's just that you do help me stay clean and sober, because being around other people that are healthy is just a good thing. And since I'm married to you, I'm around you a lot.
Right.
And we have that in common, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of that part of us grows along with you and me as our sobriety, and our strength in our sobriety. Doesn't mean it can't go away, but I have more reasons than I can count to stay clean today. So, and I want to stay clean for them. It's not like I'm staying clean because of them. I want to stay clean for them because I love my life right now. That's all it is. So you can twist it around and make it look bad that way, but...
Make it look bad what way? I wasn't trying to make anything look bad.
No, I'm not saying you were. I'm just saying just the wording and how you look at things.
Oh.
It needs to be how you look at it all in a positive light.
Yeah, and by you staying sober, it helps me. But you don't stay sober for me. And by me staying sober, it helps you, but I don't do it for you. I don't do it for my mom. I don't do it for my brothers, sisters, dad. No, nobody. I do it for myself. And by doing that for myself, it helps everybody else because they can actually enjoy time or company with me, or maybe not enjoy it with me. I don't know. But it's definitely a better way of life, and it switches. At some point, you go from, oh, man, I'm missing out, to, oh, my God, I would never want to have a hangover again. Are you kidding me? My hangovers last a week. Like, it's horrible. It's not normal. So, yeah, it switches to where you realize you're not missing out, and that what happened was you did miss out on a bunch of life, and we don't live that long. So just take advantage of the time you do have on the earth, and just enjoy yourself, And I was talking to some guys today. I had to take some of the treatment, and I was telling them about 217, and the guy was like, so that's 217 Recovery, 217 Recovery Podcast, that's the name of it. I see that's the name of our podcast, 217. I kind of had to explain that, and I told them about, when I was in treatment, we were having fun, and we were known as the 217 guys. That was the room we were in. And I told them we like to laugh and we like to have fun. And I gave them some examples, and they're laughing. They're like, "Yeah, man, that's very important that you have fun and you laugh." And then I told them about the Pictionary I used to play when I worked at the treatment center here in Traverse City, and told them it was not appropriate probably, but it got the guys laughing. And the guys would tell me like, "Man, I never laughed so hard. I didn't know I could laugh without using." And I remember saying to one guy, I was like, "Okay, well, really?" I was like, "When's the last time you laughed when you were using?" And he just kind of looked at me and had this like blank look on his face, like he was thinking. And I was like, "Yeah, it's been a while, huh?" Mm-hmm. He didn't answer me because he didn't know. Like you get to a certain point, you're not using or drinking or whatever for fun, and it's miserable and it's horrible. And a lot of people want a way out, but shame will keep people stuck in that, and not wanting to accept it, not wanting to admit it, not wanting to think that I can never use or drink again, because that seems impossible. That's like telling somebody that you can't eat food anymore. That's it sounds crazy, but it's right up there. For somebody to tell me, "Oh, Corey, you can't drink," well, then you can't eat food. It's the same thing, because my brain was saying, "No, I need this to live. I need this to survive," just like a normal person would with food. "I'm hungry. I need to eat because I need to live. I need to drink water." Well, that's what people say, is you need to drink water. But that's just kind of how it works, and that's how it goes. But it's crazy when you think about it. And laughing is a very huge part of my recovery. I like to laugh and have fun. Mm-hmm. And you can have plenty of that in recovery. And you can actually laugh again in recovery. So if people are like, "Well, I'll never be able to do that, never be able to do that," just check them on it. Be like, "Well, when's the last time you did laugh? When's the last time you, oh man, sometimes I watch movies, man. They're so much better when I'm stoned." Are they? No. Same dude said, "I like to," this one guy said, he like, I don't know what the hell. He was talking about some weeds in the lake or the creek that he gets, and does something with them, and it makes him like have more energy, and he can walk in the woods in October, and it's beautiful. And I'm like, you can walk in the woods in October and it's beautiful sober, and you can remember it, and you can touch trees and talk to them if you'd like, man. He was like, not a tree hugger, but whatever, naturist. I think that's a word I just made up.
Naturalist.
No, he's a naturist.
Not
natural, naturist. It's a new word. It means in love with nature and the earth. So yeah, and he would enjoy it a lot more sober. I can tell you, Mother Earth would.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Thanks for appreciating me. Thank you so much." And I'll walk away. Quit hugging me. That's the tree. That wasn't Mother Earth talking. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah.
Just
sleepy times.
Yeah, big day tomorrow. It was a long day today for both of us, and appreciate you listening, though.
Yeah,
I appreciate you sticking through this. I think the mics sound pretty good, though.
Yeah,
I dialed them in. So I was listening to the one we did about, it was called Forgiveness, the last one we did, and I was like, man, it sounds like I kept hearing this like. I didn't like it. It was your microphone, so I had to dial it in. But I think it sounds all right. So we'll see. But thanks for listening. Get the app if you don't have that, 217recovery.com if you need some resources, information. If you haven't seen the videos yet, Recovery Spotlights. We got May featuring Justin Burke, June featuring Tyrone Hatcha, and Jewlye is coming soon. It's a very special guest on that one. If you're doing the math, you can look at our website and think, Justin's on there. Tyrone's on the website. Who could this special guest be? I don't know. It's not me. But watch the other two. They're on YouTube as well, but you can get them on the app. If you haven't seen our video from Lansing, I don't think we've talked about that. Maybe we did. But we put together a video. I had all the people, and you had all the people that went with us to the UFAM rally in Lansing send in their pictures. And most of them sent in some pictures, and then I put it all together, and little videos in there, and the very end is fun.
It's very cute.
Justin's ass hanging out. It was pretty funny. And I don't know how you recorded that, but it was just like perfect. And then you hear him telling Justin, your whole ass is hanging out. And Justin's
That was
like,
not intentional.
Justin's like, yeah, well, thanks, Tim. Out of all the people here, Tim, you're the only one that told me. You know, it was pretty funny how it ends. But yeah, check out that video. That is, again, on our app as well. So 217recovery.com. Appreciate you listening. And we'll talk to you on Thursday.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.